We're processing over 1 million calls a month with AI now. I think we've done over like 14 or 15 million.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Pest Playbook. Today, we've got a very special guest. We've got Raymond Kidwell, who is the Director of Business Development at Voice for Pest. And he also hosts his own podcast called the Voice for the Industry podcast, which is also sponsored by Voice for Pest. So we've got an excellent guest here today, very experienced. He knows the industry. He knows how to do these type of podcast stories. So Raymond, thanks so much for coming on and talking shop with us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited. It's interesting to be on this side of the microphone. I kind of enjoy it. So a little less stressful. I don't have to worry about the technology. I'm good.
We're going to switch it up on the other side and get Jared to get on your show too.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. 100%.
Well, excellent. I think what would be great for us to get started is maybe just tell us more about Voice for Pest. Maybe for those who don't or are not familiar with what you guys do, that'd be a great point for us to start and dive into.
All right. So, Voice for Pest is a AI-powered internet phone system, right? There's a lot of internet phone systems out there. But what makes our solution unique is that we are the only solution that's really invested, dedicated, and part of the pest and lawn care industry. We have 3 employees, including me, that spend a lot of time in the pest and lawn care industry before coming to work here. So we have a unique perspective on ways to make phone systems and solutions better for pest control companies, lawn care companies, because these companies have very unique and very specific needs from a phone system that many other industries don't. They have a lot of customers constantly calling them back for services and buying things. So their phone systems really take a lot. I mean, they get a lot of use out of them. And there's a lot of ways we can do things really differently. So we're very unique. We have integrations with most of the CRMs or field service companies out there that pest and lawn care companies use. I mean, I think we're up to 12 or 13. Any of them you've ever heard of, Pest Pack, Field Routes, all of them. And I hate to name them because I don't name somebody, they get mad at me, but there's pretty much all of them. We can do some really cool things with our integration and really cool things with our AI. But just to be in general, it's the fact that we're dedicated to this industry. We go to conferences. We saw each other at Pest World. We're just here. We're involved and we're part of the industry. And I think that really makes a big difference.
We were chatting about this even before we started recording, but I think part of your exploration into the pest space, you sort of uncovered the opportunity for this system in play. Could you walk us through that again?
Sure. It's a bit of a long story, but I like to talk about myself. So many years ago, I worked for a company called McCall Service in Florida. They're still here. They got a different name now, I think, in general. But anyway, we were part of the Copasan group. And Copasan was a network of private companies nationwide that teamed up to service national accounts. So like McCall here in Jacksonville, Florida did the Home Depots in Jacksonville, Florida. We certainly didn't go out to California to do the Home Depots out there. There was a company in California that did the Home Depots, and we all teamed up together and all the billing was centralized. So as part of this Copasan group, we had these different committees, and I was part of the Technology Advancement Committee, which was basically all the IT people and the technology people from many, many large privately held companies, very large companies. So we were looking for a phone system. A friend of mine said, hey, we just signed up with this phone system out of New Jersey. I ended up talking to the owner. Good job of selling me. So we signed up and we got this internet phone system. At the time, it was really cool because we had this old AT&T system and nobody knew how to change an extension. It was just terrible. And plus, we had 5 individual branches and we wanted to create a consolidated call center, right? So we needed that technology to do that. So we found this system. So it wasn't too long after we started using it that there was a meeting of this technology group at Gregory Pest in Greenville, South Carolina. And there was about 20 companies in there, and again, pretty large ones. So I reached out to the owner, who's now my boss, Tom Welsh, and said, hey, we're having this meeting. Come on down here, give me $500. Don't ask me what we're going to do with it. And I'll get you in front of all these companies so you can pitch, make your spiel, right? So he did, and we used the $500 to go play laser tag or something like that. So he ended up selling a lot of those companies. And at the time, all of those companies that were part of Copasan had to use Pest Pack mobile because that was just a requirement. So long story less long, he figured out there's this group here, this industry here that is very common. They share a lot of stuff and they use a lot of the same software. So he realized that if he could figure out a way to get integrated into that software, right, he could sell a lot of these pest control companies. Because again, this was 10, 12 years ago. PestPack was pretty dominant at the time, but there weren't as many other ones out there. And so it was his vision, not mine, but I'm the one that kind of opened the door for him and he ran through it. That started the process. And for many years, he tried to have these integrations with different CRMs, but not make the other ones mad. I don't want this one to know, but now everybody knows about it and it's pretty common. But anyway, that's how we got into the industry, and then started building different integrations. And then about 6.5 years ago, I came to work here, and I've been working here, which is great because I still get to work with all the people I worked with for 20-something years in the industry, and I get to see them all. And so it's really nice. I kind of feel like I still work in the pest control industry. I just don't work for Pest Playbook.
Well, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I love someone in technology who understands the vertical and the space really, really well. So for pest control owners out there and for pest control owners listening, with your years of experience, what are some things that you would recommend that help, let's say, a mid-sized pest control company? If you had 2 to 3 pieces of advice on how to grow and effectively grow your pest control company, what would those be?
A lot of people focus on sales, and rightfully so. A lot of companies spend a lot of time and effort and money on marketing and sales and all this stuff. They don't spend as much time on service and retention, mostly retention, right? The focus is on bringing on this new business in, which is great, but all that new business is more expensive than the business you already have, right? You have had a customer for a year, your profitability on that customer is much higher than a brand new sale that you have to pay commission on and everything else. So my first piece of advice is focus on taking care of your customers, put as much time, effort, and money into building processes and developing people on the retention and service side of it that you do on marketing and sales, because a lot of companies don't do that. And so they lose a lot of those customers that they're buying. So instead of really growing their business, what they're doing is just kind of keeping it afloat. They're growing, but they could be growing a lot faster. And the companies that have really been successful have figured that one out. So that's one I think is very important. And then the other one is just take care of your people. I mean, that's really, and I know that's very cliche, but it really is. I mean, it's an industry where a lot of the field employees are out on their own. You have to rely on your employees to make a lot of very important decisions all the time, all day long. Just getting in that company vehicle and driving it, you're opening yourself up to tremendous liability, things like that. So just take care of your people, treat them well, pay them well. If they need time off, give them time off. Just make it a good place to work. Because there's a lot of pest control companies I've been at. It's a really good place to work, but there's also some that haven't been that great a place to work. So take care of your people, but don't only focus on sales. I guess would be my 2 real quick, like make a big difference. And then have a really good phone system. That's probably the most important. Have a really good phone system.
Really good. That's a perfect segue into explaining the system, because it's described as an all-in-one system. So what is it exactly that pest companies get when they start using Voice for Pest?
Okay, so some of the big differences, because all phone systems are essentially the same, and most phone systems nowadays have the same kind of standard functionality. You can they have auto attendance. You can get your voicemail is transcribed to an email. So there's a lot of that doesn't matter who you use, right? So what are the things that differentiators and that make Voice for Pest different? Well, I mentioned is our integrations. So for example, our core integration features, one is we call intelligent call routing. So because we have an integration with their CRM, when somebody calls them, our system can look at that number. It does a database dip into their CRM and says, oh, wait a minute, that number belongs to this account. So we now know that that's a customer calling, right? If it doesn't match, we know it's not, or most likely not. Could be a customer calling from a number you don't have, could be a salesperson trying to sell you something, but the majority of those calls that don't match an account are leads or prospects, right? So what that process allows our customers to do is identify those calls coming in. A lot of companies have customers press 1, new business press 2, right? But you can't control what they press, and about half of the calls that they're answering on the sales side are actually customers, because customers are like, oh, I'll get through faster. So our integration eliminates that, because we know that's a customer. So we can push them right into the customer queue, and our customer can either have specific things for customers, billing press 1, scheduling press 2, or just answer it, but they know they're customers. And then the other difference is, because we can handle those calls differently, they can handle them differently. Customers aren't going to cancel you if you make them wait on hold for 90 seconds. A lead's not going to stick around for 90 seconds. So they can have different hold times and handle customer calls differently than they can lead calls. We can overflow those lead calls. Call comes in, nobody can answer their phone. Hey, after 60 seconds, send it out to my sales guy in the field or my sales lady out in the field or whatever. And they can have different messages and we can run reports. So that's a big piece of the integration right there. Then we have a screen pop. So when somebody calls in, somebody sitting at the computer in the office, the customer's account screen pops up. So they know who they're talking to. It's a faster call. It's more efficient. Your employee can process more calls in a day because they're saving time. But also, to me, it's the better part is it's a good customer experience. If I call a company I do business with and they say, what's your name, what's your address, that's fine. But if they say, oh, is this Mr. Kidwell on Copper Creek Drive? Yeah, because they know who I am, right? They got the screen pop. So it's a much better, warmer experience for customers. You also get a screen pop if it's not a customer. So the CSR knows, okay, this is not a customer. I'm right in the account right where I need to be in the account to add a new customer. We also have a click to call. So if they want to call a customer, they just click the phone number in the CRM, like for PestPack, for example. So that doesn't sound like a big deal, but the big deal is they don't have to go to a dialer. They don't have to pick up a phone or go over here they stay in that same screen they're working in. So it's more efficient and they save time. And the thing about CSR is they take a lot of calls, right? They take 40, 50, 60 calls a day. So if you can save a little bit of time on each call, that adds up. And if you could save a little bit of time on each call for one person and you have 6, that adds up even more. So over the course of a day, these little efficiencies really save a lot of time. And then the last piece of our standard integration is this is the big one, we can actually take and we can push notes into the CRM. So when the call ends, now with AI, we can take that call, we can analyze it with AI, we create a 2-sentence summary, we can tell if the caller was unhappy or happy. If they were unhappy, we can tell them why. We have the full transcript. All this stuff gets pushed in the customer's account. So at the end of every call. So if the CSR needs to call a customer back, they don't have to go talk to the employee that talked to them last time because they have the summary, they have the transcript, they know if they were happy or unhappy. So those are the 4 core integration things that really separate us out. We have a lot more, but I don't want to go off on a tangent, but those things there. And like we said earlier, our ability to understand what phone systems need to do, but the integration's huge. We have some pretty amazing AI features. We have some new AI agents, but those are really the core things. Is if you get set up with us and you have those things working, you're going to have a much improved business. Your employees will be more efficient. The AI notes really make a big difference because most companies expect their employees to put in notes, but a lot of times they don't. And if they do, it's not necessarily accurate, right? So these are objective. The AI doesn't like Raymond more than it likes Ben, right? It's just going to tell you what happened on the call, and it's going to be in the note, and it's right there. So we've had customers come up and say, you know what? I had an employee quit. I didn't have to replace them because they're saving so much time not having to put the notes in. They can take more calls. So those are some of the big reasons, I think, that really differentiate us.
Amazing. And so for the AI component of that, is that something that you guys developed yourself, or are you leveraging any current language learning models? How did you go about?
So when the AI thing broke, we were smart enough to realize there's no way we're going to be able to develop our own. I mean, we could try, right? But we're phone system people. So it just so happened at the same time we were looking for an AI partner, I ran into a young lady at a trade show in South Carolina who happens to be the operations manager of a AI company, X-Ray Labs. So we teamed up with them. We're very integrated. It's exclusive. If you want to use their AI features, you have to be our customer. And they're amazing. Kent and Maddie over there and Brent, they're amazing. And we have the best AI out there, period, for a couple reasons. But one is because it was born and raised in this industry. It doesn't have to try to understand boating or airplanes or anything else. I mean, so it really understands what people say when they're buying and selling and canceling and complaining about pest control.
That's exactly right. And that's what I think is so cool. You said it was born and raised in this industry. So that's such a huge advantage, I feel like, because of all the conversations that are being fielded. You even touched on how it can gauge the customer temperament and things like that. So is there anything that stands out from the AI capturing these conversations with customers? Anything like that stands out to you from fielding all the different conversations?
Well, I mean, we're processing over 1 million calls a month with AI now. I think we've done over 14 or 15 million overall. What stands out to me is our AI can tell the difference between a pre-treat termite call and a post-treat termite call, right? So somebody calls in and says, I need a termite treatment. I'm having a house built. We can classify those as a separate pre-treat type of termite call versus just a regular, I already own a house, it's already built, I have termites, I need you to come out. It knows the difference between crack and crevice and aeration and overseeding. So, but it constantly amazes me when I read these summaries and stuff, it's just how accurate it is. It's not perfect, but it's really amazing the detail that it gets out of these calls. And the funny thing is, it's not listening, it's reading, it's analyzing the transcript. So there's no tone, there's no emotion. it's reading this, analyzing the written word, yet it's able to create such an amazing analysis of the call. It's really something. Like, that's the biggest thing to me, is it's just like, AI is amazing in general, but just like, holy smokes, I was gonna say something else. Holy smokes, this stuff is really fantastic in what it understands and the information it can give you. And the biggest difference is, for many, many years, a lot of people at these companies worked really hard to try to gather data, right? Go run this report here, run this. That's what I did for years. I spent hours putting together reports for our 30-minute weekly managers meeting that nobody looked at, right? And we did all this kind of stuff. And it was really hard and took a lot of time. Well, then AI came out, and AI said, you know what? You don't have to do that anymore. Here's the data you need. Here it is right here. Take it, use it. Well, now the next step is, now we have AI that's actually not saying, here's the data. It's saying, oh, here's a dashboard. Here's a hub. Here's all the lead calls you need to manage. Here's all the customer calls. It's all right there. So the management, the humans, don't have to take any time or effort to get to the point where they're making an impactful decision. They're calling a customer, they're following up on a salesperson. They don't have to spend any time to do that anymore. And to me, that's just a huge advantage and a huge impact on the industry overall. But our AI is very able to do some things because of, like you said, born and raised, or like I said, born and raised in the industry. It's really pretty powerful.
With the conversations that you're capturing that are so specific to the pest industry, those insights and that knowledge and that learning is truly incredible. You already remarked on how granular
it's really amazing. It can tell you every single, whatever service they're calling for. We even had, to give you a real quick example, we had a customer who said, hey, look, we use these summer door knocking salespeople, right? They come in like locusts, right? They flood the neighborhoods, they knock on doors, they sell 1,000 sales and they're gone, right? He said, we get a lot of complaints about that. And we don't care. We don't care about those complaints. But we don't want them to get mucked up in our regular complaints, right? We have legit customers calling and complaining. So we were able to train our AI to differentiate those complaint calls. So we created a separate bucket for door knocking complaints. Hey, I've got ants in my kitchen, or I've got weeds in my front yard. So those are kind of, again, this shows the level of comprehension that our AI has, and the fact that we can do those kind of fine-tuning things on a lot of different levels. But to me, that was really very illustrative of like, wow, it can actually we don't want to hear about those, and so they don't have to hear about it. Yeah, so it makes a big difference.
Amazing. And so what do you see as kind of the next step for the AI implementation for Voice for Pests, and with everything that you guys have learned and captured?
Well, we just rolled out our new agents. Again, they're X-Ray Lab AI agents. We like to say powered by Voice for Pest, right? But what we're doing is a little bit different. So about 70% of AI bot deployments have failed. One of the reasons the bots are failing at such a high rate, especially in this industry, is they're kind of off by themselves on an island, right? Companies like us, we forward calls to the AI agent or the bot, and it's processing it. But there's very little insight into what's going on. So what's happening is customers will call in and they get stuck with this bot. And a lot of people like me, I don't have a problem talking to an AI agent, but if I don't want to talk to them and I can't get away from them, that's when I go crazy, right? That is, I'm screaming at my phone and cussing. And so I get really mad at the company that I'm trying to do business with. And that's what we see happening. A lot of these AI agents that are out there now from other companies, they're just kind of doing their thing and nobody really knows what's happening. All of a sudden the pest control company gets a bunch of complaints. And they say, stop it, cancel it. It's making my customers mad, right? So what we're doing is a little bit different, actually a lot different, is first of all, our approach is we always give the caller the ability to get away from an AI agent anytime they want. My name's Raymond, I'm your AI agent. Anytime you want to talk to a representative, just say representative or whatever. So that calms them down right away, or they're not stuck here. And then the other thing is we actually set them up as extensions in the phone system. So you would have a human CSR extension and an AI CSR extension. And that allows our customers to manage that AI. They can listen to the calls, they can monitor the calls, they can run reports, because AI is not perfect, right? So they can make sure that the AI is taking good care of their customers, just like they make sure the humans are taking good care of their customers. Because what we're finding is AI doesn't always take good care of the customer, not maliciously, right? But it makes the customers mad. So how do you prevent that? Well, you give the humans a chance to make sure that they're doing things right. But also it's just a fundamental approach, a different approach. All right, we have 5 different ones. See, a lot of them have one agent that's supposed to do everything. We have a receptionist one, we have a billing one. And the difference is because of our integrations, our AI agents can actually schedule a service in the CRM. It can actually take a phone call, reschedule an existing one, add a new one. It can actually take and make a payment. Nobody else can do that. So we can actually do What we know is 60 to 70% of all calls to pest control companies lawn care is billing and scheduling. So we have a scheduling agent, we have a billing agent. They can actually do a lot of those mundane, routine things that humans do that will allow the humans to go do the more complex, more productive, more impactful things, right? Processing a payment's important, but it's not that hard, right? It's not that difficult. Scheduling's a little more challenging. But so the idea is if we could chip away at the humans taking those kind of calls and let the humans focus on more impactful things, selling higher level things, then it's just better for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Amazing. I mean, that definitely seems the trend that everything is going, right?
Absolutely.
The kind of standard order of operations for a front desk person, whether it's fielding phone calls or processing billing. And I actually feel like that would be an extremely valuable one.
Yes.
Not having to chase down customers for billing or rescheduling or things like that. And so that definitely seems to be.
And we have one that can reach out for collections and stuff too. So yeah, it's pretty impactful. And I don't know. I'm curious to see where it's going to go.
Yeah. So is there a favorite? Like, is there one that you hear from your customers all the time? Like, oh, we love that your guys' bot goes out and does this. Which one's their favorite?
Now we just rolled them out at Pest World. So we've got 2 or 3 actually being used live now. So we haven't had it, but we have one that's a sales agent. Her name is Margot. And Margot, you can either talk to Margot or you can text Margot. Everybody likes Margot because she's got a pretty good sense of humor. I texted her and I said, because her job, her prime directive is to set up an appointment to do a demo for our X-ray platform. So that's what she's trying to do. So I texted her, I said, hey, Margot, can X-ray tell me if people like me because I'm feeling a little bit insecure? And she came back and she said, oh, X-ray can do this and do this and do this. But it really can't tell if people like you. She said, but you're asking really good questions, so I think you're doing pretty good. And that really blew my mind. I was like, AI thought of that, kind of made a joke, right? Like, and it's kind of scared me because it's brand new. So Margot people like, because that's the one we give the number out. People can call Margot and text Margot. So it's pretty exciting.
And now Margot is just recently become available. Is that right?
Yes, we just rolled out our AI agents at Pest World, right? So we've already got several getting set up. We got a few live, but it's because again, we wanted to do it right. And X-Ray, to our partners at X-Ray, they took their time, they did it right. They really understand, our AI agents really understand how things work. They were able to work directly with a pest control company directly into the CRMs, so they can actually get in there and figure out how to make things work, which is hard because not everybody has those integration that can get into the system like we do. So that made a big difference. And the reality is they're going to end up with some human agents and some AI agents. You go to the grocery store and you count the number of self-checkout registers versus the number of humans, right? It's a lot more self-checkout than humans. Years ago, there was no self-checkout. So it's going to be the same thing. So, and that's kind of the idea, is let's create an environment where the humans are doing what they need to do and they're very successful at it. And let your AI just do the stuff that humans don't really need to do, right? And manage them together as basically coworkers. Some don't have to take vacation or need a raise, but they're still coworkers.
Neat. Very neat.
Yeah, the future is very AI based. With the way you guys are thinking, Raymond, let's say in 5 to 10 years, how do you see a modern pest control company running?
Wow. That's a good question. So I'll give you my answer, and it may not be the right answer. Everybody might not agree with me. I think it's going to be where you either have an AI agent that takes the call and it just does everything, or you have a human that takes the call that it just talks and everything gets done by AI. So in other words, the human's talking, and while they're talking, AI's in there adding stuff to the account, doing this, doing that. And I think it's just going to, I actually see a point where pest control technicians will have driverless vehicles that are routed by AI, so they're absolutely the most efficient. Because I may have a stop 2 miles that way, but that really nice, friendly, attractive clerk that works at the gas station that 3 miles that way is working today. So I might go over there to get my lunch or get my gas, whatever. So humans don't always make the most efficient decisions, right? So I think that AI would be routing driverless vehicles. I think you'll still need a technician, but I don't see why there couldn't be drones used to do exterior applications. So I don't know, I'm old and I probably don't have the vision, but I think it's going to be very futuristic compared to how we think about things now. And one of the benefits of being old is I was a pre-internet guy. Now I'm a post-internet guy. I'm a pre-AI. So I've seen where we went from no internet to what the internet does today. And I think that AI is just going to be so much more than the internet. It really is. I honestly think we're all going to end up like the fat people on Wall-E that were just floating around on this thing. That right? I mean, that's where we're going to end up at some point. I will be around by then, I don't think, but Unless we do something different, right? Everybody already uses ChatGPT to do everything. I mean, they don't even think for themselves anymore. So it could be interesting.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, it's interesting to look from a software side and an online side what AI is going to do, but also applications in the real world, like you mentioned, drones or robotics doing the actual exterior applications. Seems very, very possible in the next 10 years or so.
The thing about AI is that they don't need vacations. They don't get sick. They might break down, but they don't talk back. You don't have to take them out to lunch because they're upset. They just work, right? So if you had a robot that could just go out and do pest control all day long, wasn't in a driverless vehicle that's going to be so efficient. I know a lot of people think, oh, that's terrible. And I'm not saying it's the greatest thing, but I just think that's the reality. There's going to be that kind of automation, I think, in technology development. But who knows?
AI just learns so fast. AI is as bad as it's ever going to be right now.
Right. It's only going to get better. That's the thing. It's going to get better and better until humans can't compete. That's what's going to happen. And I don't say that in a negative way. I just think, just look at the difference in 2 years, like where we're at, like just how it was when they first broke out ChatGPT and like where it is now. It's just crazy. It's really crazy. Pretty exciting.
It sounds like you're lining up everything for Voice for Pests to stay on top of that, take advantage of that, develop tools around it so that you can continue to be a solution for pest control companies.
And I'd like to take credit for that, but a lot of that's our CEO, but we all work together. But yes, that's the plan. We feel like we're the industry leader in this industry for phone solutions. Obviously, there's other phone solutions out there a lot bigger than us, but nobody has as many customers in this industry as we do, not even close. And so we feel like it's our responsibility to stay ahead of everybody else because there really is nobody else focused on this industry from a phone solution provider standpoint. And what a lot of people don't think about is like RingCentral's really big, Dialpad's really big. These are huge companies. I'm sorry, your little 7-extension phone system company, pest control company means nothing to them, right? Sometimes you won't even get a phone number. All you can do is email support. So to us, we have one extension. We start at one. We have customers with one phone. That's it. Like the guy started his own company or the lady started her own company. So we're more aware and dialed into what's going on. So that's kind of how we look at it. It's our responsibility to stay ahead, and we're really trying to do that. And I think we're being pretty successful. So
that's amazing. Well, very cool. Well, we are right at almost to the top of the 30 minutes.
Okay.
Last question, Raymond. I know you touched a little bit on a few things that you'd recommend for success in pest control and just in general. Any other advice that you would give to a pest control owner besides getting on Voice for Pests? Of course,
obviously that's a given.
That's a given.
That's job one. Yeah, priority one.
Any other advice for moving into the future and being successful?
Well, I don't know if I have the authority to give that kind of advice, but since you asked me, I think there's a lot of things that I think what happens is you have people there's established pest control companies been around for a while, but there was a guy in the industry. He was a consultant named Lloyd Smigel. He's passed away now. A smart guy, but his thing was before you start your first service, you have a policy manual. You have procedures manual. You have processes, right? You act like you're a 30-employee company when there's only one of you, right? Because then you have that blueprint, you have that foundation, you have that mold. So as you bring people in, you're just plugging them into your processes, right? What happens a lot of times with newer companies, the lady guy starts it, then, it's time to hire somebody, right? Well, the person you hire is never going to be as committed as you because it's your company and So how do you get them to be committed and do the things that they need to be successful? You build that environment for them to come in and, hey, this person's training me. I have the equipment I need. I have the stuff I need. And I've seen so many times new employees come into pest control company where I used to work in others, and that they come in and the manager says, hey, pops down a 45-foot new hire paperwork. It's to see you in an hour, right? And the employees wandering around trying to find the office. And those are the kind of things I think you got to take care of your people, have processes in place, and when you hire people and bring them in, just develop them along that same way. I think that makes a big difference. And the other piece of advice that most people don't is keep your stuff routes dense. A lot of companies will chase after them. Starts off, I'll go 20 minutes away, then I'll go 45 minutes away, and all of a sudden you're driving 2 hours to do one stop. And it makes no sense. It's just not worth it. Even it might be a really big stop, but route density is important. That's something I'm a big believer in. So I hope that advice is worth something.
It is. Yeah, it is. I think you've got a wealth of experience and continue to have a wealth of experience speaking to pest control owners and have a lot of visibility. So
Well, thank
We
you.
loved having you on and great insights.